Good afternoon, Mr. Rodney Matheney. Will you please share your educational background and your work experience, please?
Yes. Graduated from Crossett High School in 1984, where I arrived here at the University of Central Arkansas to complete my bachelor's degree. Received a degree in special education, mildly handicapped, in 1988. Began teaching, and while teaching, I began to pursue my master's degree. Got a master's degree in secondary ed leadership here from the University of Central Arkansas as well. After getting my master's degree, I moved to Fort Smith, Arkansas. Of course, that was after working here at Conway High School for 5 years in a dual capacity. I taught and was an administrative assistant, then was dean of boys here. I did all of that in a 5-year span. Then I moved to Fort Smith, Arkansas, where I served as the assistant principal at Northside High School for 3 years. Then, from there, I served as the lead principal at Darby Junior High School for 8 years. After that stint, I wanted to be a high school principal, so I took the high school job at Pine Bluff High School for 2 years. Then came back to Conway as the principal at Conway High School, the West Campus, served in that capacity for 3 years. Then took a position at Pulaski County Special School District, where I served as the deputy superintendent for 2 years. So that's my professional background.
Okay. Well, what we're trying to do is help the students, let them know what's upcoming, they can look forward to, and how to help them. Okay. So could you please inform them, as an education major, how they can sell themselves at a career fair?
Selling yourself at a career fair. One of the first things and the best thing that you could do, which is the initial impression that you make, which is a lasting impression, is to be dressed professionally. And that is very important. Your appearance is very important. It will certainly command the interviewer's attention. The person that you're trying to sell yourself to, well, that will be the first thing they see is your dress. I think that's number one. Number two, for me, would be that you introduce yourself, a firm handshake, those basic things that we do that are essential in terms of social skills. So an introduction, firm handshake, and eye contact. I think those are a few of the best ways that you could sell yourself. Certainly networking is important, and so to remember the names, maybe get email addresses and follow up. Keeping that person that you contacted or you interviewed with as a prime contact would also help you in any of your future opportunities and chances to get into a district.
Okay. What advice do you have for new teachers preparing for their first interview?
Teachers preparing for their first interview. First, I go back, just as I said a moment ago, your professional dress is imperative. It is very important that you are dressed appropriately. If you are not certain, there are some people that can help you with that. But professional dress, I would also recommend that you do some research on the district. There's a particular district that you're interviewing for, and even a particular school. If you have those specifics, certainly do some research, know a little background, know some history, know the makeup of the student population as well as the staff population. Those are some of the things that you can do to certainly set you apart in an interview. I will also say, during the process of the interview, be sure to answer the questions. Make sure you answer the questions precisely. And in that process of answering, if you need to ask for a question to be repeated, that's perfectly fine. Ask for that person to repeat it. But when you're answering, also work that crowd, make eye contact. If there's more than one person that's interviewing you, make sure you make eye contact with both while you're answering that question. But little is much, not too long of an answer. And also, if you do not know the answer, it's okay to say, I do not know. But if you're giving a scenario where you're in a building, it's okay to say you don't know, but then I would follow up, if I were you, to say I will collaborate with someone in the building, another teacher, or an administrator to get the answer to that particular question.
Okay. What are the top 5 qualities school administrators look for when hiring a new teacher?
The top 5 qualities, is that right? I would first say integrity, character, work ethic, professionalism, which professionalism is kind of an umbrella, and it covers several things in terms of the professional dress. It also covers being prepared in terms of your lessons that you're going to teach. That means that you're going to have to do some outside work aside from the allotted school time. And we certainly look for someone who's a team player because it's a team effort and a team concept when you're trying to educate today's youth. And so those 5, I think, are some of the top that we look for.
Okay. Describe what a new teacher should look forward to the first week of school.
The first week of school, it's a lot of training that takes place. So I would first recommend that you clear your calendar. Make sure no vacation time is scheduled because it is imperative that you're there. You don't want to miss out on any training. Oftentimes districts now are offering pre-meetings for those that are new to a district, and that's valuable to a new teacher coming into a district because oftentimes the culture of the district is addressed, resources are given that will help you be successful. So make sure your calendar is clear, make sure you've gotten plenty of rest, make sure you're ready to do those extra things. If you can get into a classroom in advance of the first day of school and even prior to professional development beginning, that will just give you a head start on where you need to go and what you need to do to set that atmosphere and the tone for your classroom.
Okay. What can a first-year teacher look forward to at the first staff meeting?
I would say the number one thing is a lot of networking, a lot of introductions on a personal level, a lot of interacting. You certainly need to be very social. And I would also recommend that you prepare yourself for an introduction. This will be the opportunity for you to share some personal things about yourself because one of the things that is essential, especially during this particular time, is that we bond as a staff because you will be addressing issues in the building as a family and as a unit. If you're on a team, a particular team, you'll be doing that as a team. So the more they know about you at that particular time in terms of your likes, dislikes, hobbies, those will be key for you that first day. So be ready to share some personal things about yourself.
Okay. How can a new teacher develop a relationship with the principal?
That first day will be crucial as well. Professional development, you'll get an opportunity. But I think previously, for instance, if you're hired prior to professional development, certainly you'll be hired before the first day of school, but an opportunity to set an appointment to come in, just to dialogue, asking the principal about the vision, about expectations, just in an informal setting allows you to connect and to bond with that principal. I think just knowing how he or she thinks, their expectations will help you in the long run. It certainly will help you, that interaction will help you to build that bond with that principal because that's going to be key and it's going to be crucial for both of you and for the building at large.
Among teachers who have not been successful on the job, what knowledge, skills, or dispositions would you say appeared to be most often deficient?
Lack of integrity. I'll just kind of say the opposite of the others that I gave. Lack of professionalism. The lack of professionalism I probably could branch off because and deal with those because this requires a lot of preparation. Again, education is not just 8 to 4. It requires us to do a lot of additional work outside the classroom in terms of preparing our lessons. These are things that are crucial and that have caused issues for so many and the success. And of course it impacts student learning. So these are some of the things that are key for you and so these are focal points as well. So the opposite again, you got to be professional, you got to prepare, requires commitment, requires work ethic. And so if you're not possessing these things, you've got a hard road to hold.
Okay. Do you think there's an advantage in substitute teaching for a school district until a full-time position becomes available in that district?
I do think substitute teaching can be an advantage. It allows you to certainly get a feel for a building. It'll allow you to interact with some of the students. You can see certain settings and the dynamics of a building. Also gives you an opportunity, especially if teaching is a desire and an ultimate goal for you to have your own classroom. Gives you a chance to network with that building, to get to know administrators and certainly other teachers as well. So if that opportunity, you're afforded that opportunity, I would take advantage of it because I think it will certainly help with your skill set.
Okay. Last but not least, as an employer, what advice do you have for new teachers?
My advice for new teachers, first and foremost, is to give the process time. Oftentimes, and I'm certainly referring to the experience that I've had, the counseling sessions with first-year teachers over the years, give the process time. It's very difficult. It can be overwhelming. Be sure to collaborate with other teachers, ask questions, ask your administrators, but just give it time. One of the things that I've learned over time is that the first year is very difficult. There are a lot of adjustments that has to occur, and if you give it that first year, the second year is oftentimes so much better, not so much because things have changed dramatically in terms of the students, but it's only better because you've acquired skills to address many of those issues that are coming up, whereas the first year you didn't know. So give the process time, be patient with yourself, and I think you can enjoy a lifelong career in education.
Thank you.
Thank you.